evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this session today. I would like to invite our next speaker, Ashley Alicia from Unity 3D. She's an evangelist there, and she's been building developer relationships for many years. And today she's about to introduce a new tool that Unity has brought together for the developer ecosystem and help us build better teams and communities. So please welcome Ashley.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. How's everyone? Good? End of the conference, kind of tired. I'll talk about something fun. Welcome to Grow Your Career and Building Your Team with Unity Connect. And a few questions before I jump into my talk. Raise your hand if you're like a regular indie game developer. Okay. Who here is a student? Okay, some students. Who here works in non-gaming? Anybody in recruiting, maybe? Okay, cool. So an interesting mix of people. You're all going to learn something cool in this talk. But I'm excited to tell you all about this tool that Unity created to help you level up your careers and your teams. And I'm also going to be sharing some advice from Unity's recruiting teams on how to hire for your teams and how to find your dream job. Now, one last question. What is something that all creations that us developers make have in common? It's an idea, but not just any idea. It's the ultimate idea for the next killer game, VR, or app. And if there's one thing you're sure about your ultimate idea, it's that it's going to be awesome. When you get that perfect idea for like your next big video game, you just want to get started. Some of you may grab some friends and work on it together to reach that goal. Or others may decide to take the solo indie route. And while both are really good ways to make progress on what you're working on, more often than not, as creators, we come across a situation that may be familiar to us all. And it's that we hit a wall, or we get art block, and it sucks because you have this amazing project that you want to finish, but because you're stuck on a certain aspect of your project, you can't move forward. If this is something that sounds familiar, it's because it's a common experience we've heard from our community time and time again. And even us creators at Unity experience this too. So we decided to do something about this. And that's why we created Unity Connect. Unity Connect is the first professional and community hub dedicated to the full spectrum of Unity creators. And this is really everybody, no matter what you're working on, if you're a programmer, an artist, designer, audio engineer, writer, you name it. This is a place for you to get connected with others who are using Unity and showcase your work and shine. Now, an example of how to do this on Unity Connect is through what we call tasks. Tasks are small, like concentrated, focused freelance projects that you can post on Unity Connect to get progress on the problems that you're stuck with during development. For example, you could be an artist and you're seeking a programmer to help you fix your darn scripts. Or you could be a programmer and you're seeking a concept artist to turn your lovely programmer art into some developed character concepts. Or you could be a studio and you're looking for a VR maven to build a VR interface for your next hit game. No matter what roadblocks you're overcoming, Unity Connect will help you get connected with talented specialists from the community to help you overcome those roadblocks to success and keep your project moving forward. Now, as a developer myself, I know how important it is to find peers and colleagues in this industry that you can learn from and grow with. And this is something really easy that you can do on Unity Connect through discussion channels and groups. So groups are an amazing way to get connected with people across the production spectrum on topics that you're really passionate about. Let's say you're an animator, you can join the Unity for Animators group. Or you're a freelancer, you can join our group for outsourcing and freelancers. Now, you can also join in our discussion channels, which are real-time chat areas where you can talk to people about topics that you're really interested in, that the real-time conversation really helps. For example, programming questions. There are different, you can join the machine learning discussion channel and talk about what you're working on there. You can talk about job postings and more. And the really cool thing about this is that if you don't see a group or discussion channel that aligns to your interests, you can make your own and invite others on the platform to join. Now, just as it's important to develop your skills like on your own or taking classes, one thing that you can also find through Unity Connect are online and also in-person events. So these are opportunities that Unity and our friends and local community organizers provide through Unity Connect to give you the opportunities to kind of enhance your educational experience across different kind of facets of development. So at Unity, for example, we have online Unity user groups that are hosted by Unity staff. It's a live stream. You can join in. You could talk to staff members there. You can talk to other Unity creators. And you can explore new Unity tools and news and updates and learn more about what's happening. And another thing is also local events. We post local events on Unity Connect, either that Unity hosts or local community organizers are having like this conference here. And these following kind of what events are happening in your area is a great way to find out about opportunities to level up your skills and grow. And you can find out, especially with Unity, like really cool events in the area that can be really fun to attend. One of them, for example, is Unite India, which is actually taking place here tomorrow in the convention center. And the Unite events, and just speaking as someone who used to go to these Unity events before I joined Unity, there's such an amazing way to get connected with other people in your community, just like you're all doing at this conference, and really understanding how your Unity skills can be used across many different industries. I've been working in games for over 10 years, and I had no idea that my Unity skills could be used in architecture or automotive or film. And when I started going to events like Unite, I got connected with people in those industries and got to learn about all those opportunities. So by keeping tabs on events on Unity Connect, you can find opportunities like this and more. Now, you can also build your reputation through Unity Connect. Some of you may have listened to what I said about tasks and said, that's really cool, but I don't need any help with my project right now. Or others may be thinking, cool, but I don't have time to help anyone, I'm really busy. You can still greatly benefit from the Unity Connect platform through our online tools that help you create a really stunning profile that you can showcase your work and your skills. This is a typical Unity Connect profile and what it looks like. And you can post all sorts of things on here. You can post your experience, you can tag your skills, you can make beautiful pages for your projects where you can embed files and have GIFs and videos and more. You can write articles and publish them to reach our entire Unity community. And you could build a following. You can have people follow you, you can follow other people, you can comment on each other's work, see what people are working on. And for me, this is what I love most about Connect. Because I don't know about you guys here as game developers, but for me, I have my online presence spread out across a bunch of different websites. I have my GitHub page, and then I have the Facebook page where I post updates about my game for the community. I have my Twitter account that I use to talk with other developers. I have my blog where I put my developer updates. It's a lot of different sites to manage, and one thing I personally love about Connect is that I can have it all in one page. It looks beautiful. Trying to showcase my work, especially interactive things like games on sites like LinkedIn, can be really difficult to kind of get that how cool your projects are across. So I love having my Connect page, and it really makes me feel excited about development having one central place to post everything. So another thing you could do on Connect is flex your skills and take part in Unity challenges. This is also something really exciting that Unity has been doing for the past year or so. And what we're doing is that we're working with major industry partners and different communities to have challenges to invite our community, and you don't even have to be a Unity developer necessarily, to take part in these challenges. For example, we partnered with the creator of The Sims to have our proxy art challenge. This was open to everybody in the community across the globe, and you could just submit, the prompt was submit a 3D scene or a game scene of a childhood memory, of just like a really nice memory that you had from your childhood. And the winning projects got selected to be flown out to meet with the creator of The Sims, Will Wright, to and possibly work on his upcoming game. Another really cool project challenge we had was the Universal Game Dev Challenge. I really like this one because Universal Studios gave our community access to Universal IPs to make games for really major movies like Back to the Future, Battlestar Galactica, Turok, Jaws. And it was amazing to see how the community like accepted these challenges and the incredible things that they created. I can show you better than I can talk about them. So here, check them out. Audio. So those are just some of the examples of what our community made for this challenge. It was really exciting to see all those entries. The top 5 winners got flown to Universal Studios in California. They got to meet with Universal Studios executives and people from DreamWorks and other companies, pitch their games, learn how to improve them, and then the final winning team got a contract to actually create their game with Universal. So that was a really exciting challenge. There were a lot of Jaws dating simulators too, which was really kind of amusing. I love seeing the creativity from our community, and I encourage you all to check out challenges. And one other thing that you should also keep in mind is you can leverage your strengths with Unity Connect to help others in the community and gain valuable experience. Just like you can post tasks on Connect to get help with your projects, remember that you can look at what other people are posting and see what kind of support that they need. We have people looking for everything from tutors to having someone recreate a special effect that they saw in another game for their game. There's tons of different requests out there, no matter what your background or experience is. People need help with art and more. You can help them through Unity Connect and make money doing so, and you get paid through the platform and everything. It's a really cool system. I recommend going through tasks. You can sort by region, you could search for remote opportunities and more. And those of you who are hearing me talk about, jobs and tasks, you may be thinking, especially if you're a recruiter, or hiring for your studios, okay, this sounds cool. Can my company post a job? Can we get into this pool of Unity talent? And the answer is absolutely yes. We enable recruiters and studios to be able to search through our really targeted, qualified pool of candidates on Unity Connect to find the exact people they need to fill the positions for their studios. And I'm going to break it down as to how this works. So here we have Mark. So Mark is an artist and a creative visionary, but he just sucks at writing code. He's working on his own game, but he's not making any progress when it comes to programming. So he posts a task on Unity Connect to get the support he needs. And here we have Anthony. So Anthony is a stone cold scripting ninja. He's browsing for tasks on Unity Connect, and he comes across what Mark posted, and Mark and Anthony connect. So Anthony makes some money doing what he loves and gains some experience, and Mark is one step closer to publishing his project. Awesome. Now, here we have Hannah. Hannah's a recruiter at Blizzard, and she currently has a role for a C# programmer at her company that she's looking to fill. So Hannah posts a job on Blizzard's Unity Connect page, and she goes looking for talent using Unity Connect's search functions. She comes across Anthony's profile, and she's really impressed by what she sees, so she invites him to apply directly through Unity Connect. Hannah and Anthony connect. Anthony gets a job interview and ultimately a job offer, and Hannah has filled yet another position on her list. Even more awesome. Now, remember Mark? So Mark dreams of working for a company at Blizzard. He's always checking their Unity Connect page to see what job postings they've been making. And today he can see that they posted a part-time concept artist position on their Unity Connect page. So he applies directly, and Hannah is immediately notified. Now, she checks his profile, and she likes what she sees. Hannah and Mark connect, and Mark gets hired working part-time for a company that he loves, and Hannah fills yet another position on her list. Gold stars for everybody, and now you can see how everyone can become connected on Unity Connect. Now, we've been seeing a really incredible amount of traction and support from our community since we launched the beta of Connect about 2 years ago. Collectively, over 230,000 Unity creators have posted profiles on Unity Connect. And collectively, they've posted over 38,000 projects showcasing their work across the production pipeline. Now, over 4,000 companies have joined Unity Connect to post updates on what they're working on and to use it to recruit and hire people for their teams. Some of our friends who are using Unity Connect for hiring include Ubisoft, Alchemy Labs, Magic Leap, Zynga, and more. And between all the companies posting jobs and all the users posting task posts, we've had over 7,000 opportunities posted on Unity Connect available for our community. And I actually love this slide because this map here is actually a real visualization of how people have been accepting each other's jobs and tasks posts. So you can see that somebody in Australia is working on something for someone in Mexico, and someone in the United States is helping someone out in India. And it's amazing to me to see how, as developers, we can connect and support each other regardless of how far apart we are. And I think it's really incredible. Now that I've explained to you a bit about how Unity Connect works, I want to get more into detail about how to hire for your teams and also how to get hired and find your dream job. Now, some notes for studios to keep in mind, especially when you're posting your job positions on Unity Connect. Make sure to have your must-haves and your nice-to-haves clearly defined in your job description. This is an easy step that you could take to make sure that you widen the pool of applicants that apply to your position. So must-haves in this case are skills that are absolutely needed for someone on day one of starting at their job, things that they can't learn really quickly, like programming languages. Nice-to-haves are things that can be learned on training or on the job over time. And by really narrowing down what your must-haves are, you open the pool of talent that can apply to your role and put yourself in the better position to make the right decision on who you're going to hire. Now, also build a recruitment process. A lot of studios, especially smaller studios, aren't kind of familiar with how to set this up. It's really easy, and by having something even simple in place, you can avoid hiring biases and have much more consistency in your practices. For example, at Unity, what we do is we do a phone screen interview. So we'll talk to a candidate over the phone, and we'll get an idea of where they want to work, what salary range they're looking for, and more. And it's also our chance to summarize the position back to them and understand that we're on the same page on this is a job for them, this is something they want to apply for. Then we send them a technical assessment to validate the skills that they've told us they have. And if we like the results of their assessment, we'll invite them on site to one of our offices to join us for an in-person interview. And there we go over their technical assessment to understand the thinking and logic and reasoning behind what they did, to understand if they'd be a great fit for our team. And it's also a really good opportunity for them to get to know our team and understand what kind of projects they'll be working on. And seeking out candidates doesn't have to be a crazy time-expensive or time-consuming or expensive process. By being proactive in your searches, you could find a lot of qualified candidates for the positions that you're hiring for. Let's say doing something versus doing something like advertising. By having your recruiters or people who are hiring search on Unity Connect, on LinkedIn, even on Facebook, you'd be surprised at how many wonderful qualified people you can apply by just doing a couple of really good searches. And lastly, when you're hiring for your company, thinking about someone who will be a good fit is really important. A lot of companies are hiring for culture fit. But one thing that we're kind of pushing for at Unity is the hiring for cultural add, because it's as important, if not more important, for somebody to add to the culture to help you expand and innovate than it is to have someone just match your existing crew. So you can do this by identifying your company's values, understanding what you and your teammates value in a hire. At Unity, we really value creativity and a willingness to be experimental in solving hard problems. And also make it a discussion and not a super hardcore interview, because you really get to know a candidate better this way. A lot of us are trained in answering interview questions like, what would you do in this hypothetical situation? Or what is your greatest weakness? And you can ask these questions in an interview and you'll get an answer, but it won't be the most authentic answer that you can get from a hire. So by asking them questions based on real world situations, you can develop a better understanding and connection with your candidate and understand better if they're a right fit for the job. And lastly, remember that this is also about selling your studio and selling the role. The job market is really competitive, and the person that you're interviewing is likely interviewing at many other studios. This is also your time to show them what an awesome place your studio is to work at. And also, it's really important to maintain a good first impression and a good relationship with that person, because even if they aren't a good hire right now, they could be in the future, and you want to keep those doors of communication open. Now, when it's a match and you hire them, the new hire process isn't over yet. There's a couple of things that you need to do to make sure your new hire stays in the role and stays happy. Making sure they have onboarding and orientation. At Unity, we have a whole week of training for new hires. When you give people the skills and knowledge they know to get started in their job with confidence, they don't feel kind of scrambling in their first week or month trying to figure out what to do, and they have the confidence they need to just move forward in their role. Now, having a development plan and goal for your new hires is also really important, because it helps you both understand what your objectives are for the company, what are goals that you're both really committed to and want to work on together, and it helps a new hire feel incentivized to really take on their new role. And lastly, keeping people engaged, giving them projects that they want to work on, that they're excited about. It keeps you happy. And basically, all this is important so you can keep a new hire in a role so that they don't leave and there's attrition, and then you have to start the new hire process all over again. Now, for people here who are looking for jobs, here's some advice for you guys. So one thing to make sure of is to create your Unity Connect profile and make sure that whatever profiles that you're using across the internet are updated. This is really key, and it's surprising how many people don't do this. And do not underestimate the power of keywords. So in this case, there are many times where we'll see a profile of somebody who's great and they're a game developer, and it says, my name, game developer, but they don't list what specific skills they have that make them a developer. And it could be anything. You could be anything from a really intense programmer to an artist to making board games. It could be so wide. So say specifically what your skills are in any online profile you have. I'm a game developer with C# experience, web development experience. I use Unity. By being really clear, not only can people and recruiters understand your profile better when they visit it, but you come up more often in search engines and in searches that recruiters do to find talent for their companies. And next, make sure to connect with recruiters and update your presence and stay active a little bit. I think a lot of us, myself included, have the LinkedIn page and we'll update it and then we'll just leave it alone for a couple of months and then check back later. It's really important to maintain your network and keep updating and adding friends and adding your connections, because you never know how opportunities can come up. One of my friends at Unity actually got her first job in the industry because she friended somebody on LinkedIn. And a couple of weeks later, a friend of that friend posted a really cool job opportunity. And through sites like LinkedIn and Connect, it shows you, your friend's friend posted this. So she saw that, she applied, and she got the job. And she only got that because she made sure to kind of update her contacts in her profile. So it's something important to keep in mind as well. It's worth doing that. And lastly, make sure to attend events, user groups, meetups for developers or artists and more, going to events like Unite and other local events in your community. This isn't just useful for meeting other people and networking and making contacts. This helps build your visibility and your reputation in the community as someone who is active and passionate about what they do. And recruiters see this and they notice it. Recruiters are often always attending these events and love to pick up on the regulars. One of my coworkers who works with me at Unity's evangelism team, we hired him because he came to all our user group events and we got to know him really well. So you never know, again, what opportunities could happen. So landing your first gig, you have an interview or something lined up, it's really important to be prepared. Make sure your resume, your CV is fully updated, have your portfolio updated as well, and make sure that it's strong and you stand out from the crowd. And when I say this, and I know that when I started in the industry, I was really worried. I'm like, I don't know if my projects are cool enough. I'm applying for this job. I don't know if I'll be a great candidate. What matters as much as the projects that you show is how well you're able to speak about your development work and the reasoning behind what you do, and also showing that you have that passion and commitment. One of the most popular questions we ask in interviews, especially for students who are applying at Unity, is what are your hobbies? Like, what do you do for fun? And it's interesting the range of answers that we get. We get some people that tell us, yeah, I'm just a beginner developer, but I attend my local community's developer meetups. I work on small games on the side, and I'm kind of getting myself started. that candidate alone can really be a lot more powerful for a recruiter than someone who goes, oh yeah, I do development, but I don't have really any hobbies. So remember to have things in your resume that indicate your passions and your interests. And they don't even have to be related to game development, by the way. I met a woman who did the best pitch ever for why she should work at this game studio by baking pies. It was amazing. So like just put information about you in your profiles. Now, make projects that are relevant to employers. One of the top things I've learned in interviews, come in with 3 projects ready in mind and some successes and pitfalls you've had with the projects and be able to speak about them with a recruiter or your interviewer. That is super powerful, and it helps you feel prepared, and it gives you some real world conversations to have with your recruiter. And remember that across your career, there's tons of ways to get support no matter where you are. If you're just starting, you can find tons of tutorials online. Through Unity, we have a whole page where we have video tutorials and news. You can then take advanced courses through sites like Coursera or Platzi or Udemy. You can update your tools by using, let's say, Unity Plus or Pro or other kind of advanced tools in your industry to kind of amp up your skill set. You can get prepared to be certified. You can become certified and give yourself that really amazing validation that you are an incredible candidate for an employer. And you can apply with confidence on sites like Unity Connect, having that kind of background for your skills. And really, I just encourage you all to join today, join Connect. It's incredibly easy and fun. Connect.unity.com. Just sign in with your Unity ID. And that's about it. And so, does anyone have any questions? Yeah.
Yeah, in the beginning of the talk, you mentioned about having a single page for all your social network interactions.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the main reasons why we have these different sites is to have to build up our fan base or
Yeah.
So, I was wondering how do you manage that sort of discoverability? Because, from what I see, it's mostly been for developers and for interactions, right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking about how would you help? How would you use that to build up your fan base or someone who's not necessarily a developer? How do you bring them onto the Connect platform?
Absolutely. So for me, I use Connect really primarily as a way to connect, with other developers. Not so much with my player community because, as you said, I got to go out there in many different places to bring players in. But one thing I do is when you get players who are really passionate about your games, they want to follow your blogs, they want to see your developer updates, they want to learn about mods and more. That's why I like Connect's article system. I can post my updates there. I can direct people to my Connect page and say like, hey, if you want to learn more about the game, you could check out all my stuff here. And basically, I host my core content on my Connect page. And when I post updates on Facebook or Twitter, and there's really good sharing capabilities built into Connect that allows you to do that, I just basically kind of source people back into my Connect pages.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Someone over there?
What are the beginner tips you could give for a young developer?
Okay, beginner tips for a young developer. Make games and make really small focus games. Start with something small like tic-tac-toe. The most common thing I see with students is I'll go to a college and it's a bunch of freshmen. They're so excited. Game development is amazing and I get the hype. But they're saying, yeah, my first game is going to be a giant networked MMORPG. And that's a bit intense. You can build so much experience by focusing on really small things. What I tell people is take one game mechanic. A lot of people, like one that works for them is the Flappy Bird mechanic of like bouncing up and down when you tap the screen. Or in Super Mario, jumping to hit a block and a coin appearing. By learning those different little mechanics, you actually learn so much along the way that you go, okay, I see when I did this for this mechanic, this other mechanic I want to work on for my ultimate game would work like this. And that's a good way to kind of build up that experience. You can add those projects to your portfolio and recruiters can see that, industry people can see that. It shows that you're committed, that you're practicing development, that your skills are growing. And that's what I would recommend by far, just practicing. Yep. No problem. Someone else?
It's separate from Unity Forum or it's the same like Unity Forum? Like for clearing doubt, we use a Unity Forum or insert.unity3d.com.
Yeah, so if I understood correct, you're asking if the Unity forums on our website are the same as Unity Connect?
Yes.
They're different platforms. there are technically forums on Unity Connect that you could join and talk to creators about, whatever questions you may have, but they don't replace, they complement the existing Unity forum system. That isn't going away anytime soon. Okay, well, that's a wrap for me. Thank you all so much. I hope you enjoyed this talk. Please take a photo of this QR scan. Let us know what you thought of the talk, if it was helpful for you. This information also helps Unity figure out what kind of presentations we should do when we come back to the area. And hope to see all of you or some of you at Unite India starting tomorrow. Thank you so much, everybody.